But I think Cherelle does deserve one cheat. If she got her out of a Russian prison, I'd be like, come on. But
This is Shana.
And Kris.
And we are Bad Queers. If you came out of the closet and got put in a box of stereotypes you don't belong to, then welcome to the Bad Queers Club.
All right, this week in Queer Urban Dictionary, I have gatekeeping. Gatekeeping is a broad term not used only in the queer community, but it describes a process by which an individual decides who does or does not belong to a certain community, group, or identity. For example, a gay man telling a questioning man that he has to have sex with another man before he could call himself gay is an example of gatekeeping. Gatekeeping, which can come from inside or outside the queer community, should be avoided as it is painful and invalidating to the recipient in either instance. Gatekeeping.
My Queer Urban Dictionary word of the week is LLL, or lavender languages or linguistics. So this is an academic field, an area of study focusing on how LGBTQ plus people use language, slang, and discourse. When I went to look this up, I actually thought it was going to be something very different. And then this popped up and I said, this is fun. So to use in a sentence, it says, during her presentation at the annual conference, the researcher used lavender languages and linguistics to explain how queer communities develop unique slang and speech patterns to signal identity. LLL.
Okay. About it.
There you go. I was like, I thought it was going to be something more lesbian in this. And then I was like, well, the study of sapphics is.
Yeah. Were you looking to
out.
take like a course and that's how you happen upon this?
Honestly, now that I know it exists, I may have
You're
to
like,
go and see.
Certificate.
Could I go in there and not study and still pass?
If you're Dr. Cheyenne Bryant. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a solid standard to stand up to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, between her and these anti-vax people that are back, my God, you certainly can. Sky's the limit.
You know,
everybody's.
I don't know why I'm limiting myself.
Yeah, look at these people out here. Look at
examples.
These people out here. Yeah,
who have put a little doctor in front of their name and said, "I'm an expert." Me thinking that as a Black queer woman here in America, who actively does these conversations week over week, that I couldn't do it. Wow.
Yeah, no, right. we're aiming way too low right now. That's what we're learning. Way too low. So many stories that are interwoven in that. We are aiming way too low right now. Okay. Some people put doctor in their names falsely. Some people don't even go through the trouble of that. They just tell you that, they know science and biology and all that. Like it's a
yes.
What a nightmare just loop we're in with it. These stories this week are
are something.
There's something.
Let's put it that way. So I know that we've gone through a lot of the conversations of this, but then there have been layers that have been added on. So we have not gotten the chance to discuss it. So we are going to discuss it with you all. So let's go ahead and praise, pray, tell. Our first category is BG and the breakup heard in Russia.
Not Russia.
Right when I wrote it. So it's also, when I was going back and doing research today, so there was a lot of research done today to make sure that things were factually accurate and timelines, all the stuff. Okay, my academic career has begun. Don't play with me. So when I was looking back also at our stories and the archive of them, it did that highlight piece that said, you posted this 4 years ago. That was the day that we were talking about BG getting sentenced to 9 years in Russian court. 4 years ago.
Wow.
Now, we're talking about BG filing for divorce from her wife, Cherelle.
Yeah.
How the tides have turned.
Life comes at you fast.
How the winds have changed. All the things. So BG and Cherelle have been married for 8 years, and in the court documents, which are all public record, so if you're listening internationally, anytime people file for divorce and do all those things, it is public record, so people can get all of this information. And it states that the marriage is irretrievably broken and that they requested joint custody of their 2-year-old son, Bash. Now, Cherelle, she is a lawyer, and while BG was being held overseas, she made sure to stay on people's necks and backs and cracks, honestly, the entire time that she was imprisoned in Russia, and was like the key voice that made sure that Biden knew, that media knew, all of that. So she was constantly doing those things. But when it comes to divorce, this is not the first time that this has happened with BG. BG was first married to Glory Johnson in 2015 before a high-profile divorce with Glory. So let's break down this timeline of what happened. So first, Brittney and Cherelle met at Baylor University. This is like 2009 to 2013. Apparently, it was love at first sight, but they didn't end up like dating or anything at the time. There was a lot of flirting, a lot of energy, but it was love at first sight, but not at first wedding. So BG met fellow WNBA player Glory Johnson, and they got engaged in August of 2014. This is when big scandal happened. BG was arrested following a domestic dispute in April 2015, just weeks before their May wedding. Then they ended up filing for divorce 28 days after marrying, which was around the time that Johnson announced pregnancy with twins. They had a very messy divorce that was finalized in 2016, and then BG and Cherelle reconnected in 2018. They married in 2019, and then everything went down in Russia in like 2022, and now is where they fully stand. So that is the talk of the town right now, besides our next story. But everybody has a lot of things to say about this relationship on the internet. I had texted Kris earlier and was like, people out here calling her deadbeat stud and putting all of the blame on BG and saying like, oh, this is a pattern and here's what's going on, and you know, BG's already done this before. And we are so fast to jump down people's necks when they go through divorces.
Yeah, that's why even with when you text me that, I was like, did something else come out? Because the initial stuff just came out over the weekend. Of course, people made jokes about like Cherelle should have left her in Russia and all that, or you can't hold anybody down. Brittney filed. It was like interesting because there was like a video from a couple weeks ago with all them, Cherelle and their son and everything, looking happy. And obviously people could fake that, but seems like something happened very like fast. Some people have said that Cherelle may have cheated, but we are going to find out at some point. This is still fresh. This is still new. And this time I'm glad to see that BG does want custody of their kid, as they should. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm sure we'll find out things in the coming weeks for sure. But since Cherelle is a lawyer, I would imagine some of that stuff she could maybe shield if it's not, you know, putting her in the best light. And it also depends on the state you file in. So I don't know where they filed. Did they file in Texas or Connecticut?
They filed in Georgia.
In Georgia.
Yep.
Could go either way, because I know with Tiana Taylor, when she was getting a divorce from Iman Shumpert, there was a bunch of things that she wanted sealed, and like it still came out. So I'm sure we'll figure out soon enough what happened here. But
yes.
Whew, yeah, that was quite a headline to come over the thing. It's like, but you know, things happen. We'll see what happened. We'll see. We'll find out.
We will 100% be finding out. And if not, it's going to be a messy trail of a bunch of different stories and you said and I said and we said type stories. But to go from like finding out Sanaya and Marina broke up to then finding out that BG and Cherelle broke up, and how lit the Connecticut Sun future Houston team already are.
I know. Houston.
That locker room is about to go up the rest of this season. Up.
I don't know the circumstances, but I think Cherelle does deserve one cheat. If she got her out of a Russian prison, I'd be like, come on. But you know, every couple has their rules. So come on.
Every couple has their rules. Like our get out of jail free card is you getting imprisoned in Russia. Yeah. Like, I thought you were going to be there for almost a decade. What do you mean? I was rooting for you the whole time. Yeah. What happened if I had a little sneaky link on the side while you were out there? I didn't think you were coming back, but I didn't stop.
This is our reckless speculation portion of this story.
Please,
where I'm
nobody
like,
quote
what
this.
if she had Cherelle had connected with someone here because you were like, I don't know how it's gonna go. You know, they didn't know they would trade the merchant of death and that she'd get out. But you know, who knows what happened here? But I do kind of think like, you know, not to be funny, she does kind of deserve at least like one. At least one. If I help get you out of a Russian prison, I think I should be able to.
In like a year's time as well. Yeah. You could have been there for almost a decade. You had to chop your hair off, staying in beds that were too small for you. And I went and talked to the president, got you back, like you said, traded for the merchant of death. Let me get a little looky for a night.
I mean, can you imagine? Maybe Brittney got tired of like not being able to win any fights anymore. Because if I did that shit to you, I'd be like, I got you out for the merchant of death. Please get out of my face. Please. You couldn't tell me shit. Like, I'd be like, you would be in prison right now if it wasn't me. Right. So, you know, who knows what happened here. So that's why even with like them calling Brittney a Debbie, I was like, and I wanted to defend her because she could be in this situation, but I could also be like Cherelle, being like, you know, come on, yo. Like, it's me. I helped you out. I held you down. Like, come on, yo.
Did you put the dishes away when you were in Russia? Bet you did. Like,
exactly. I know you didn't slam those cabinets in Russia. So
okay, I know you figured out how to make it work in Russia. I'm gonna need you to figure out how to make that work here. Okay.
So, yeah.
I hate us.
Look, we're like, but thoughts and prayers to them. And, you know, divorce is hard. It's terrible and all that. Yes. You know, we're married for a number of years, you know. And Cherelle did hold it down. But you just truly never know what happens in relationships. But I'm sure we'll know at some point. I don't think this goes away quietly. So, because everybody was like, God damn, you can't hold even a stud down. And I was like, well, let's just see, guys. Let's just see what happens. Because, you know, we don't know. Praying for them and their son, you know, that's difficult. So
especially
so young. Yeah. So all right, well, that was the talk of the town though.
That what, man,
that was came out of nowhere.
Came out so fast
Yeah,
because on top of that, our next category is we're talking about the trans community in sports, which has been the topic for the last couple of years, but it's really picking up steam because we have a new spokesperson by way of Sophie Cunningham.
Who didn't see this coming?
Palatable white.
Sophie was like, that ugly bitch, she's getting money off this. I could do this.
She said, I can.
Riley Gaines is a loser. Like, I could do this. A lot of opportunity. Like,
man.
Like there, and then Riley Gaines I think we weren't recording it, but remember they came out with Riley Gaines is just being fed lines. They were like, I mean, this bitch is reading from a prompter. I could do that shit. So, you know, this is the most likely outcome to this, you know, Sophie to anti-trans sports. We saw this coming.
We did. So you all know or have hopefully heard about like the initial statements that she made and that just blew up everywhere so fast. So as of recently, Caitlin Clark spoke out on Sunday. So we're recording on a Tuesday. On Sunday, after the Fever lost to the Lynx, and when asked about the situation with Sophie, that was a good time. That was a good game. That was fun to watch. And said, I think it's for leagues and governing bodies to work with their athletes to find solutions. Naturally, we did not expect anything more from Caitlin because her PR team loves to give her a neutral statement, and she loves to stay neutral on any of the things, even though every talk show host, media person, whoever has been like, all Caitlin has to do is say one thing.
Yeah, the right was very pissed that she decided to shut up and dribble. They were like, how dare she?
Dare you?
How dare you? They're like, because they and that's the thing is like Sophie Cunningham is stepping into Caitlin Clark's like shoes of like being the athlete for the far right and everything. Like she's basically like, if you're not gonna do it, I'm gonna do it. Like Caitlin,
no, for real,
seems to just want to play basketball. Like she is, seems exhausted and all that. Like she's like, I don't know. It's for the governing bodies to decide. I don't fucking know.
Stop passing me notes.
Exhausted.
Stop passing me notes. She's like, I just want to go and shoot and have my boyfriend catch and rebound for me. That's all I want.
I just got smoked by Courtney Williams on the court, exhausted, and she has this question lobbed, and it's just like,
no, fully. And she was upset that Courtney didn't wear her shoes during the game.
Yeah, just exhausted. Knew this was coming too. And I can imagine being a teammate of somebody like Sophie, where if you don't want to make a comment on this, like now it's such a thing. Like they're getting, obviously, well, she's getting booed, not them. You know, everywhere they go now. And it's such a thing because of her selfishness and wanting to obviously elevate her position and platform of stuff. So yeah, the far right and all the conservatives are mad that Caitlin Clark is shutting up and dribbling and all that, like they tell black athletes to do. They're like, no, you're white, you can talk, we want you to talk. And she's just
we want
pissed.
you to come up here. And she says, I'm good, thanks so much.
I'm gonna pass on this one.
I'm just gonna not speak on anything, really, is what's happening, and leave my neutral statements to that. And it's even funnier to have a queer coach who is married to a black woman in the space. So, you know, it was all this. But, you know, Sophie continued to state, and we mentioned this a bit in the last episode where she made the statement, I got a lot of negative feedback about me hating trans. And I'm like, I never once said that. And yet is found taking photos with Riley Gaines and former Levi's executive Jennifer Say, whom were wearing anti-trans XXXY shirts, and Gaines had a sign that said, Sophie, thank you, signed a girl mom. Sophie continues to say that she moves on the platform of love, but then actively does the opposite each time. But she is all about love.
How many points per game grifting do you think she averages, Sophie Cunningham? It's got to be in the 20s at least. I feel like she's a double-double. Riley Gaines is probably around like a 10. 10 and 5, maybe a 9. I mean, she might not crack double digits because, like, I'm telling you, like, Riley Gaines is like taking pictures. I'm like, she's gonna get you the fuck out of here very soon. They're gonna be like, we don't really have a need for you, Riley Gaines. You're like a 5th place swimmer in a sport nobody watches and all that. There was I saw a soundbite of Riley Gaines saying that she basically relating to Sophie Cunningham because she got booed every time she had the ball and everything, and she was like, I remember getting booed. And I was like, Riley, that never happened to you. That never happened to you in sport. No one knows who you were. Like, you were irrelevant in sport. You came in like, 5th place. So, but it's like, Riley, please, enough, Riley Gaines. I cannot wait to not know any of these people, hopefully, in the next 100%. Couple of years. Truly.
So, yeah. Well, while the fuckery was happening over at the Fever, Cheryl Reeves and Natalie Nakase, coach for the Minnesota Lynx and coach for the Golden State Valkyries, used their platforms to speak up. Prior to the game, the Fever game versus the Lynx, Cheryl and Sophie were spotted having what some news articles are saying is a very animated conversation. But of course, when media asked Cheryl afterwards, hey girl, what were you talking about? She already knew the question was coming and was immediately shaking her head and smiling and just saying, no, and I won't. And we said, hey, Cheryl, it's because we know where you stand. Why? Because during that game, she went on to wear a T-shirt under her signature blazers that read, trans kids belong. So we know what Cheryl was doing. Yeah. Okay, because not Cheryl Reeves, it's Cheryl. Okay, she's been Cheryl. Here.
And Reeves, by the way. Just no, okay? Yes, we're black, so we make it plural. So because I was calling her Reeves earlier, and then I saw an article, and I was like, got us again. We always put S's on it. We always put S's on it. Cheryl Reeves.
Cheryl Reeves. Hey, girl.
Cheryl Reeves. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was that. And then Natalie Nakase spoke up during the Valkyries in the post-game presser from the Valkyries tempo game, where a media person asked her directly, and she immediately said, first, thank you for that question. For me, sports is about belonging. It's about inclusivity. It's about allowing everyone to be their authentic self. You know, I'm big on that just because I have been criticized for my height, my ethnicity. I've been in those you shouldn't belong here discussions many times. And for me, I don't want that space, especially for Golden State, to ever feel like that. So I'm all about women, little girls deserving to play, and that includes trans women. Point blank, period. She says, so I'm all about inclusivity. She did not mince her words. She did not shy away from anything. Natalie Nakase, shout out to you. Where unlike the Fever and their PR team that gave a lackluster statement when they were asking coach about the statements and trying to say the things and do whatever. She was like, hey, actually, I have a statement here from what we put from The Office, and it reads like this, and there you go. No more questions. Thank you so much. Like,
right.
I said, girl, if you don't look like the PR person's assistant,
right? They did send her out there for
with
the
the way that she read that and was standing there.
I was like, oh, poor thing. She looked like she might have been community too. Just like, yep. So Stephanie's not gonna answer for real. Any questions. I was like, all right, y'all, got it. We said,
okay, we got it. We got it. So yes, but not only that, we had the Seattle Storm co-owner, Celeste Keaton, who is suspended for 5 games and fined for an undisclosed amount because she confronted courtside anti-trans activists. And of course, they didn't suspend the group who bought the tickets for it, but basically it became a whole thing where an anti-trans group bought courtside tickets, sent these 2 teenage girls to sit courtside wearing shirts that had the XXXY and had signs that they held saying, like, thanking Sophie Cunningham for speaking up for girls and things like that. Sophie, of course, had to speak up to this atrocious statement, publicly calling Keaton's behavior truly embarrassing. And Sophie reached out to support the targeted fans.
If I was I don't know how many millions or billions this owner has, but, you know, all of them, a lot of money. Probably would just run in the middle day to cuss out some teenagers if you can. Like, she's like, I'll take the game. The 5 games.
No, for real.
And the fine.
She said, here's the check. Here's the check. Yeah. Go ahead and write it for them. I'm on it today. Thank you so much.
Truly embarrassing. None of these people, Riley Gaines, Sophie Cunningham, none of them asked to release the Epstein files. Both of them are part of teams that had cis, straight men, heterosexual men that were accused of sexual harassment and sexual assault. They didn't stand up for it. So this whole non-issue that they're using to deflect, it's like the far right and their infiltration in like all parts of life is just so exhausting because this is such a non-issue and it's made it bigger now for such loser people like Sophie Cunningham and Riley Gaines. Like, I can't believe we're talking about them, but we have to because it's a thing. So hopefully we can wrap this up soon because the majority of the league is like, this is an inclusive space. This is an inclusive league. And the real fans that are there are, you know, accepting and want trans kids in sports and know that this is a non-issue. Like, it just isn't a real issue at all. So, you know.
Yeah. So on that end, let's wrap that up.
Yeah. Hopefully soon. Hopefully we're done with that.
Yes.
Yeah. Stephanie Dolson had a t-shirt as well.
It
that
did.
Was cool. Yeah. So, I mean, you know, again, it's
I was like the whole Portland arena. They did, you know, showing on different people, and everybody had different types of flags. They had like the progress flag. They had the trans flag. They had all the things. I was like, this is very Portland, but I love it.
Yeah, I was glad how Seattle and Portland showed out. I wish the teams would have actually beat the Fever, so I was glad to see the Lynx actually win the game and all that. Makes it better. And shout out to Kelsey Mitchell and Olivia's
post-game interview where they came up and had said like, oh yeah, like going against Caitlyn, and she was like, yeah, the real kudos is to Kelsey Mitchell. That was hard.
The best player on the Fever by far. Like, yeah, she did that with what's it called on the court too. And how am I blanking on her name? She was just she had a funny post about partying. But what's my girl's name? The play-by-play announcer that's on the court, Holly Rowe, and all that. And then after the game, they tried it again, and she's like, Kelsey Mitchell. Like, she's just gonna keep,
you know. She was like, I've been there, done that with Caitlyn. I'm gonna be over here talking about Kelsey and how hard that is. Because can you imagine being like, I'm gonna say it like this. I don't understand how you play against the best player, like arguably one of the best players in the league, every week, and your defense doesn't get better.
She doesn't want it to get better. Just like she didn't want to bulk up this season. So that's why these things happen to her. Like, once she starts taking these things serious.
We saw other people bulk up.
You have to bulk up. Like, it's always been a thing. So
always.
A couple years ago, Sabrina did. Like, I don't know why she avoids that. Like, hopefully this off season she does. But she doesn't want to play good defense. She whines and complains. And she's not the best person on her team. It's Kelsey Mitchell, who, by the way, is getting a PhD right now. Like, I hope they continue. There's more stories this year, but like, let's continue to elevate Kelsey Mitchell because just an incredible player and should be getting all the shine and all that. But but it was a good game. It was a good game on Sunday. So shout out to Olivia Miles. It's like, I can't believe that they have feedback. Like, I'm like, who the fuck is going to stop this team once they get a couple more games under their belt and everything? My God, that's scary. Scary.
It's out of control.
What'd you think of the Kelsey Plum trade to Phoenix? Something or nothing?
Fascinating. I thought it was fascinating. Like, she went to the Sparks, allegedly, because she wanted to, like, pave the way for herself and kind of, like, become the leader of the team. Mm-hmm. Which she would have been able to do with the Sparks. Like, if she held on for another couple of years, could do that. But I also understand the argument because, look, the Sparks are basically operating like how the Sky is operating right now, and we're not talking about that enough because they're only one practice arena away from being as bad as we are. And right now, the only thing that's keeping them on track is that their construction is on track. So that's really the only difference. I'm like, y'all just fired your GM. You're letting go of all these people that you should know if somebody did posts of all of the people that, you know, had left the Sparks or that they got rid of for whatever reason. And I said, you all see what we see.
They got better PR, us, palm trees.
You. Okay.
So,
just so you know, because it felt like the Sparks were the right spot for Kelsey Plum. She was crushing it when she was playing. And so now for her to go to Phoenix where it's a bunch of stars, I know that's going to be fun.
Yeah.
But I don't think she's going to be like the pioneer that she was looking to be. Because it's like, I thought she was already bought in to what they were doing at the Sparks. But also I feel like it might speak to the bigger problem behind the scenes and her not trusting that. And so instead she moved to Phoenix. And that is all of my assumptions.
All of my assumptions. Yeah, I don't know if it's a little too late. You know, I know this is at the WNBA trade deadline. And I'm sure that Mercury could probably get in still. But I don't know. I don't know if this does anything.
They'd have to,
you know,
win just about
once they
every
get in.
game.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like,
they,
it's gonna be tough. I mean, they could.
They're teetering on the edge of playoffs right now. So I'm like, hey, if you make it to playoffs, then anything can happen. Like the record doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So we just need y'all to do that because right now they're close to us. They're close to the Sky. So, you know, I mean, yes, they
to link them. You're like, they're just, do people see this? And it's just like,
hey,
yeah, no,
I'm just
Chicago's
out,
just done too much.
They did just win against us, but that was because we made the stupidest last play. Tyler, why the hell? Tyler, why the hell would you have Vandersloot go into the paint at the end against DeWanna? What? Dumb. I understand that Taylor was hurt so that you couldn't do the thing that you did the previous game, which was amazing, and she got the game-winning shot, and it was incredible, and all of us just lifted ourselves out of our bodies. And shout out.
So you did get
Sydney
to
Taylor.
go to the Aces game. You saw that? Did you?
I didn't go to it. I watched it.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say I saw the clips of Jackie Young and Dejanay Harrington being cute before the game.
So cute.
No, wait.
So cute.
No.
Wait.
I will see you, my love.
Don't let go, Jack. Don't let go, Jack.
Like, my love, I must go to the locker room. I was like, who is that? That was like, hey, yo, Jackie.
Who broke them up.
Come on.
Jackie.
Come on, get back here.
Get out here. They're like, where's Jackie?
Yeah.
I'm going to get her. I'm just going to
So cute.
Don't worry about it.
So cute.
And
adorable.
I love that for
them. It was
them,
adorable.
Especially because between them going to Atlanta and then going to the Sky, and I said not like back-to-back games of mess for Nalissa because Aaliyah Nye is on that team, and you know we had a few other people that were part of the mess that were on the team, and then come into play against your ex's team while your ex's girlfriend plays on your team and all that. I'm just like, it doesn't get like this in any other. You don't get this in men's sports, and it's great here. We love it here. Mm-hmm. That's all I got to say about that.
The fact that they've been able to figure out that dynamic on the Aces with Nalissa and Jackie Young is like, I mean, they both, if nothing else, have kept it player so far. So good for them. They both want rings. I feel like Nalissa's like, I'm not going to fuck this up. I do want another realistic shot at a championship. I got one ring last year, so.
Yeah, and especially because Nalissa is like in that starting rotation now. Like she's like,
she's worked her way.
Rotation on one of the best teams.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So
she's like, I'm gonna get over it. So it's fine.
We were gone, but you know, the Kennedy Carter thing, it hurt. It did hurt. We saw it coming, but that did hurt. Is there any new developments with it? You think she's just disappeared? I saw her in a one-on-one league. My cousin sent me a clip.
Yeah,
she's so good. I was like, I know.
They said that was like the key like, you've hit rock bottom, was going to that 1v1 thing.
Yeah.
You know, there was lots of speculation on the internet of Kennedy behind the scenes, that she was like having issues at different arenas and like was getting into it with people, and was like, some people alleged that she was showing up high and like things like that. So it was just, you know, there was a lot of, it just felt like there was a lot of self-sabotage themed allegations that were happening. And again, I'm leaning on all of this as allegations, but between threads and people clipping it and being like, look at her, she's doing this thing and it looks really off, but it's like, it could just be how she is if you go and look at the other clips. We don't know, but the alleged pieces of it were how she was when traveling and things, how just like off she would be. Even my friends who were sitting near the Aces bench when we were at the game, they were like, yeah, Kennedy just seemed off. Like, it's things like that folks were pointing out. And so that's what I'm wondering, is if the homegirl just self-sabotaged herself, almost like, you know, you're rooting for the addict and then they relapse, and it's like, what is that equivalent for Kennedy? But it seems like it's something, and then it's like she relapses again. Like, that's the best comparison I can give it to.
Well, I hope Kennedy Carter gets the help she needs. You know, talented athletes get a lot of chances. I don't know if she gets another chance. Maybe Houston takes a look at her next year. She'll be home in her home state, which could be a good
Cleveland.
or a bad thing, honestly. Yeah, or Cleveland.
Yeah.
Somebody, right?
Like, they did
but,
just announce,
you know,
they announced that they're going to be the Cleveland Sirens today.
Sirens.
That video was actually pretty dope.
Yeah, the video was dope. I was
dope.
like, the name was like, okay, I guess.
I'm here for the name. I'm not here for the logo. The logo could have been better. I was like, you had a badass rollout, and then this logo that was kind of like, meh.
Yeah, I just don't. When I think of Cleveland, I don't think of water. I know they got a lot of like rivers and
I know.
stuff.
That was actually like really funny when they were like, we're looking at the water, and I said, that's like Chicago looking at the lake.
Yeah, and I had to give y'all that. So maybe it's just because I haven't been to Cleveland and seen. But I saw people being like, "Well, there's a lot of water up there," and I was like, "Okay, y'all got it," but I just don't.
Yeah, there is, because
I
I remember when I went to Cleveland, I was like, there actually is, but it's like when I think of Cleveland, that's just not what I think of.
Yeah, you just don't think of that
first.
They should have brought back the Rockers. That would have made sense. Just like that would have been cool to be the Cleveland Rockers. But
yeah, I feel like some of the teams are trying to get their own like independence, and then some of the teams are gonna like resurface the history.
Yeah.
So. Mix. Like, I don't mind the Cleveland Sirens by any means. I just wish that like when they showed the initial swag, I was like, make it badass though. Make that siren be fierce as fuck. That's what I want.
Yeah. We'll see. Well, welcome to them.
Welcome.
The Sirens.
We're excited for more teams.
Yeah.
Our hearts are going to be broken again when people get separated, and we're just going to continue to be broken through 2030 as these teams continue
more
to come
spots,
through.
though.
More
spots.
We still have Philly. We still have, we do got more spots coming, so teams we love the expansion. I just know mentally preparing for my heart to be broken. But we keep Sydney. Please and thank you. That's all I
have. Well, we'll see. Y'all don't make the best decisions.
I know.
Either. Like LA, we'll link you in the Sparks.
I know.
But, we'll see.
We're not alone in this anymore.
Yeah, you're like, it's them
Sparks
too.
are with us.
I was like, look at you trying to throw them under the bus too. I was like, y'all don't have palm trees. Well, that's it for W. That's why they're getting that off. It's LA and palm trees.
For real.
And, that's really it. But okay, well, our last category is a good one. I thought we would end in like just good news. So this last category is LGBTQ rep in summer box office smashes. So both of these movies I have not seen yet, but heard so much about, and it's made so much money. So I found out today there is a transgender actor, Michael Roque, who got his first film credit as a major milestone in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Roque is currently making his big screen debut in the box office sensation Spider-Man Brand New Day as EJ, the son of Detective Jean DeWolf. The film has already taken in $360 million domestically during opening weekend. And it's going to cross the $1 billion mark in just 6 days, making it the second fastest film to do so, according to Variety. I was like, that's a hell of a first credit. Also in that movie, Black gay actor Tremel Tillman, who's in Severance and a bunch of other movies, is also in this as William Bill Metzger. And for the Odyssey folks, we didn't get to talk about Elliot Page having an impactful role in the massive woke the Odyssey, which just crossed so woke.
You didn't have to do that.
Oh, they were so and like $4 billion. It's just crossed the $4 billion.
They said diversity.
Don't go see this, and it's like the best trailer for it. So shout out to everybody, because it was like a lot of people in the Odyssey, by the way. I was like, God damn, everybody in the Odyssey. Zendaya and Tom Holland were in the Odyssey, and obviously in Spider-Man. So I was like, shout out to them. And then are going to be in Dune, or she is. I don't know if both of them are, but my gosh, just blockbuster.
It's the other one that looks like Tom. That's in it.
That's in it. Oh, the Timothy Chalamet guy. They might as well be the same thing. Yeah, but that I just is like that's so funny, because all I heard about, obviously, this movie where they were mad. Lupita was Helena of Troy. Elliot Page was in this. They were just mad at the diversity in this. I think Travis Scott was in this. That's the only one I could be shady about. But yeah, they just crossed the $4 billion global box office mark. So go woke, go bro. Don't know if that still rings the same, but yeah, 4 billion. I don't know if the billion stands for broke, but shout out to all of these queer actors in these box office smashes. It's very cool to see. Summer box offices are back. Not really. It's just with us. It's not. They're not back. But yeah, it used to be that way. We used to always get a couple of really good movies in the summer. So
and it was always like the best time to go. You'd be like, okay, are we going the night of? Are we hitting it at midnight?
Yeah.
What's happening?
Did you see the Odyssey yet?
No.
I'm gonna see it. It's been sold out and like really packed, so I just want to wait until it kind of dies down. But I do want to see it. I know it's like 3 hours, but everyone that has seen it has said that it doesn't feel like it. So I do want to check it out. This is one of the white classics that I'll give them. Obviously thousands of year old story, but this is one of the ones I'm like, hey, white people, y'all got this one. This is a classic. So I always love the Odyssey. So white classic. Shout out to them for just this though. For just this.
Just this. Just this. To be
clear. Just this.
Thank you so much.
This. All right. Well, let's move on to our advice segment, Am I a Bad Queer?, where we give goodish advice for your questions and dilemmas. Send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod, or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com. Okay, this first one is a return writer. This is exciting when we get somebody to write back in. This is from Jay. Jay says the last time we spoke to them, they had not come out to their family, but now they have. Jay asked, am I a bad queer for thinking that my friend is the problem in their dating life? My friend, who's trans masc, is autistic and very sensitive. When he dates girls, he usually falls hard and fast. It doesn't matter if they have only been talking for a month. He usually love bombs them, only to be heartbroken when they don't feel the same way. I try to convince him to slow down, but he says he can't help it. Should I tell him that he is the problem, or should I stay out of it? Jay. I want to say that they're the problem. You should just identify that there is a pattern here of them maybe moving a little too quickly with emotions, and just especially the love bombing, which they shouldn't do. And that there's a pattern there that isn't conducive to having a healthy relationship or building a healthy relationship. Typically, maybe like, this is just a kind of a known thing of like, this typically doesn't lead to positive outcomes. So not so much that they're a problem. I think saying that their problem is problematic. I would just say that, these aren't really healthy patterns for building a relationship with people. And maybe there's enough folks now that they've dated and interacted with that you could kind of like watch game tape or talk about it, study film and be like, so, by day 10, you're love bombing and you got to stop it. You just got to stop it. Like there's,
yes.
There's things to just have a productive conversation about the patterns and why it's probably better to try something new. And again, and maybe interact in more healthy ways. And that's really it. Like, I think it's, emotions can get the best of us especially when we first start dating. But, if you can help them to see the patterns, then maybe you could course correct and help them out.
Yes. With your friend being autistic and sensitive, going and telling them that they're the problem, like Kris said, is not going to help anything.
At all.
They're not going to.
Yeah.
They're not going to, and they're not going to see it that way, because there is something that has given them an understanding in how relationships work, whether it's the movies that are out and how quickly they go from hour 1 to hour 2.
Yeah.
That has cemented
Those
in their brain that this is
rom-coms.
how relationships work. And when it comes to somebody who's autistic, being able to break down relationship dynamics and giving examples, or being able to identify in the moment, or obviously you're not going to be on the date with them, but as Kris said, reflecting on what happened, or seeing the story, or maybe you invite them on a double date so that you can see what they look like in action. And that can be something where it's like, all right, let's process this and say, here's where we start to identify the trend. Here's opportunities, here are alternatives. Because with autism, there's a lot of social and emotional regulation that has to go through things. And one of the things that they really don't pay attention to, or, really teach or affirm in therapies, are dating relationships. When you have a really good therapist, or a really good speech therapist or occupational therapist or things like that, and you're talking about relationships, if you have a really good person that's able to dive deeper into the dating side of things, great. And probably a suggestion that if they do have a therapist, to have the therapist walk them through different dating situations so that they can practice and go through that. Like, there's a lot of role playing that helps. There's a lot of stories that help to be able to share, here's a healthier timeline.
Yeah.
Here's what to do when your feelings get big. Yeah, that's normal, but also let's do this because here's why. It's like you have to make it make sense for them, and being autistic, it's just going to be thought of differently, and depending on what they were exposed to as they've moved through life. So agree with Kris in terms of not just saying that it's wrong, but giving better examples of what they could be doing, so that I was like, focus on that, hey, let's work on you not being heartbroken, rather than that, hey, stop being creepy while dating.
Yeah, Jesus, like a softer commentary and all that,
Yeah, it's
grace,
like, and it's like one of those things where it's like, do they even understand what love bombing is?
Yeah.
Like, are you saying love bomb and they're just like, I'm showing love. I don't, so it's like making sure that there is an understanding of that as well, so that you can do that. And then, you could practice and take them on friend dates and be like, okay, like, let's act like this or do whatever. So I think there are other alternatives, but yeah, like I was saying, focus on let's make sure you're not heartbroken in the future. Here's the trend. Here's the pattern of what's happening. Yeah.
I like that.
Because I want you to be happy and in love.
Yeah. I like that. Very good destination and way to frame that. So
yeah.
Hope that helps. And the double dates would be fun too, because then I see you, try and in some cases mirror you, or just see how, they can approach things differently. So yeah. Thanks, Jay.
All right. Thanks for circling back. Thanks for circling back. All right. Our next Am I a Bad Queer? Let's say it. I've been so proud of being a lesbian for so long, and it took me a long time to feel comfortable in the label, and now I discovered I'm bi. It feels like losing a part of myself, and I'm kind of sad about it. I don't even want to tell anyone, because I don't want them to be able to use me to say stupid shit like, see, lesbians actually want men. All caps. No, they don't. I'm just bi. I still am repulsed by men, especially their personalities 99% of the time, which is, I feel like, very normal for most bisexuals as well. And am definitely very sapphic, but not a lesbian. I guess I'm wondering if I'm still welcome here. I don't know. Any advice would be appreciated. So the wonderful thing about this is, a lot of people move on the pathway from bisexual to lesbian, but nobody ever talks about the pathway from lesbian to bisexual. It's not discussed enough in our community, but it does happen. There's so many terms, there's so many definitions, so many ways that you can love who you want to love when you want to love them, and whichever one fits. And especially with bisexuality having such an expansive definition that it's basically very similar to pansexuality, do you. is really it. Like if you're leaving that 1% of opportunity open for men because you are attracted to them and because you are into them, cool. But you are still 100% welcome in the community because you are still a part of the community. So just because you are going deeper into your identity and identifying more things and really coming out into your truth, you're not going to get kicked out for that. Welcome back.
Yeah, and if anybody does try to gatekeep or kick you out, then they're not really, somebody you should consider or want to be in community with anyway, and they're wrong about it. I know it is probably very difficult to the lesbian to bi pipeline because of like the negative stereotypes that are given there, and just like the aggressiveness of some lesbians that are like, I know it, and just get mad. It definitely still happens, but
I trusted
things
you.
are right. I knew they would. They get so mad. But I wouldn't worry about it. I think things are changing, and there's a lot of more level-headed lesbians that do understand, sexuality as a spectrum, and like, should be accepting and everything. So if anybody is weird about it, you shouldn't be around them. So it's a very filtering thing. Like, it should really just be like, okay, girl, cool. All right, good luck. Good luck, honestly.
No, for real.
But if anything, so yeah, this is a very filtering thing. So I wouldn't feel bad about it because you'll know who to trust or hang out with or want to be around, and the people you don't. So, Godspeed. All right. This last one is actually from Reddit. So y'all remember to send your questions into Am I a Bad Queer at all the places that I'll remind you after this. But this one is a headline about work taking away from a relationship. How have any of you dealt with work taking away from your relationship with your partner? My girlfriend started a new job about 4 months ago, and she is just constantly focused on work, and it is bringing her a lot of stress. I've tried everything I can to support her and have conversations with her about maybe dimming down the talk about work, but she hasn't really stopped coming home and just talking about work for hours. Not hours. I'm all in for listening, but I also understand that there has to be balance. It's really taking away from our quality time and our romance. I'm kind of at a loss at what to do. And yes, I have had this conversation with her and she has been receptive, but nothing has changed. I just feel alone in our relationship now. That sucks. You've already had the conversation. Nothing's changed.
She was receptive and nothing changed, which means she wasn't receptive.
Well, there is that. There's that. That's not really.
I was like, just because she was calm and listening during the conversation,
politely nodded during it,
doesn't mean that she was receptive, because she would have taken that in and then put it into action.
Yeah.
Type thing. So
yeah. I'm like, how do you reapproach that? You might have to think about how you reapproach that with like, okay, before this happens in real time, I want to let you know that when you talk about work, I will give you an hour, maybe 30 minutes after work that you could talk to me about work. If you go over that time, I have no advice to give you, or I'm not going to listen. And that's really just it. Like I will give you this amount of time to talk about work after work and on these days, because probably not even every day. And any time after that, I have nothing for it, because it is starting to obviously spill into y'all's, relationship and private life. And I know there were times in my relationship that I didn't talk about work that much. But it was definitely work heavy for me. And sometimes the person who is in that has a blind spot of like this, work is just part of their life. And, they want to be able to share or work through things that happen at work with their significant other. They're not thinking about how much time they're spending there and bringing it home. So I think something very like a hard boundary could start to change that around. Like, because it's like, you could talk about it. I'm not going to be here to listen to it, though. Yeah, where, you know, or you're not gonna, or you don't want to talk about it at all. You might not even want to give them, you know, 30 minutes to an hour. You might tell them, like, talk to a work colleague, talk to your mama, talk to somebody, but not me. I don't want to hear about work. And that would be fair to you, because at this point, since you've already expressed your feelings about this and they haven't been receptive, then yeah, you got to take more drastic measures with it. And I think it's fine to set hard boundaries about it, because it's like, I don't give a fuck about your work like that, especially as much as you do. Like, again, there's no balance. I've talked to you. So yeah, like, work can very much be not like cheating, but like an additional cheating like problem in a relationship, because, you know, I'm sure she has days where she's frustrated or out of it or not present because she's at work. And that's how I was at the height of, like, when it was bad for me. So you got to set a hard boundary of, like, I don't want to hear this shit. So.
Exactly that. I have been through that in different relationships. And it is very important to set the dedicated time and to lean hard into that boundary. It will seem rude at first, because you may just have to get up and leave the conversation. You may just have to, you know, you've gotten past the time, or said, hey, we've checked in. Okay, can I talk about work? You are on the clock. And it's going to feel weird at first, because they're going to be like, this is such a big part of my life and my things that I do, and now you don't care. And it's like, no, I actually care a lot.
Yeah. And so am I.
That I want to be sure.
A big part of your life.
Right.
So am I.
Care a lot. And yes, exactly what Kris said. Good point out. Good call out, friend. And it's one of those things where it's like, I'm trying to put in the effort to be sure that the relationship is still good and that we get to talk to each other and do things. Like, it might be something where you all go and have to take a lap just to like reset coming into the house, and being like, hey, on that lap, we're not talking about work at all. And when you get back, it's like, do you need to talk about work, or are you good? You know, because sometimes you just need that transition time. Or like, come back from work and we actually don't talk to each other for the first hour that you're home. We'll greet, we'll say whatever, go have your snack, go take a shower, go do what you need to do, and then we'll sit. But it's like, I get it. I have been on the receiving end of 2 partner stressful jobs, and I have also been the partner that has been stressed because of my job. And it is very difficult, but the boundaries are so important to be able to say, like, we can't discuss this anymore. We can't go through all of this. Like Kris was saying, talk to somebody else about it, because it's not that I don't care. It's just that when it becomes every day,
it
becomes very hard to be able to see yourself in the relationship too. And I think if you break it down that way, that might be a piece that helps to make it much more digestible for your partner. Because you were saying that she's receptive, and I'm like, just because she was kind and listened doesn't mean that she's receptive if she's continuing to do the same thing. But if you're starting to say, I'm feeling like I'm being pushed out of this relationship, and that your job is your relationship type thing, then you can kind of work from there. But it's like, knowing that, make it very clear that you're like, you understand that it's important, but you also want to be sure that the house is a welcoming, calming space for the both of you to be able to bond and do the things, and you feel like you're missing out on that because work is now in your bed, petting your pet, petting your cat,
everywhere. It's at dinner,
drinking the last of your juice,
all that
type stuff, you know, didn't fill the gas up
at all.
Yeah.
Now watching the show with you, we got to keep
Yeah.
rewinding the show back because you think about your job. Like, we're just never going to get through this season. I did laugh when you said to like do a lap, and I know the lap wasn't to talk, but I thought you could do cardio so they could like be out of breath trying to talk about work. Like, only talk to me about work on a treadmill or elliptical, or we're running or something.
That's
where they
so
like
funny.
Literally out of breath. Like, you cannot possibly continue to talk about work because you're out of breath. You got to choose one.
So funny.
Your breath, your life,
Choose one.
your job. Choose one.
At some point, that breath work is going to start working, and they're going to be like, look at me, I'm telling stories, and let's go ahead and run a marathon. Like,
she said on Slack. It's just funny. And you're like, maybe we shouldn't talk about this. And time's up anyway. So
that's actually hilarious. That's like the people who can only argue in like Shakespearean accents and things like that. Those couples.
That's very
funny. Yeah, no, there's videos of like this couple where it's like, okay, whenever we argue, it's either in like some sort of accent, and their best one is in like Shakespearean lingo is the best way I can put it right now. And they do so well with it, but it's like the argument is never going to stay serious because what?
That's really funny. That is funny. So
and sometimes maybe you got to do something that silly.
You did. Yeah. Just reapproach it though, but set a hard boundary now. Like, so I tried to talk about this before and nothing happened. So like, we're going to have to elevate this. So, and don't nobody want to hear about nobody's job like that many times and all that. You know what I mean? So now I only go to, when I go to my wife about stuff, it is only to, and I also let her know in advance of like, is this event or do I want advice and everything before even telling the story? But, don't nobody want to hear about your job all the time. Like, fuck out of here. So take that in as well. You probably can't say it that way, but or maybe you can, but who knows? We'll see. We gave you ideas. Hope that helps. A lot of ideas.
Goodish advice.
Goodish advice each and every week. That's it for this week's Am I a Bad Queer? Remember to send your questions to badqueers.com. Hit us up on IG at badqueerspod or email us at badqueers@badqueers.com.
What type of bad queers will we be if we didn't have unpopular queer opinions? Mine continues to be wires from conversations that I have had over the last month. And I think this is a community conversation, but this was something that was asked. And I said, this is a good conversation to have on the podcast. So my community note/convo is, why do we love it when two twinks are together, but we can't stand it when two femmes are together?
I haven't observed that in the wild, but I also love two femmes together. And two twinks. When I see it,
I also love two femmes. I love two femmes together. I think it's one of those mysteries where folks are like, but how did you two find each other? And it's like a mythical unicorn of queerness where y'all were able to find each other and make it work. But I do agree with this because I do feel like there is more slander around the two femmes or femmes in general in the queer community than there are about twinks. It's like the twinks, it's like, I'm going to pick them up and throw them around and do whatever. But you never hear them really be like a negative.
It's like, what? Like, what? Where are you at? That's crazy.
That
wire.
But that's how I hear it. I'm Chicago. Just saying. That's, hey, Boys Town. Shout out to you. And, but usually there is a lot of slander around femmes and what they're able to do in relationships and them having long nails and us not being able to find them easily and making them have to do a lot of the work. Like, I do feel like twinks are a lot easier to spot in the wild than femmes are. And I feel like that's the main issue. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But I feel like I do hear more like femme, not necessarily the femmes with femme slander, but more so just like femme in general. Oh, okay. Slander, like you don't look queer enough and you're not doing enough, and if you are princess or this or whatever, like I feel like that's it, but there's not as much of that when it comes to twinks. Yeah. And so we were discussing like why do we think that is? Yeah. At first I thought you meant like together in a relationship with those two, but I certainly hear a lot of like I was definitely talking about the relationship side, but I definitely pivoted into into it. Yeah. Also, here's what I notice more. See with it. Yeah. Them being together. Yeah. I feel like two femmes, in my experience, it's always just a thing of, I'm seeing them more and more now, but it's more of it's just a disrespect from our community and the hetero community, like easily sexualized with two femmes where they're like, like they don't take sometimes their relationships seriously, which is so unfortunate to see. Twinks always, I've seen them like two twinks together is like, I don't know. I've seen people be like aggressive and like, like mad, like almost like two twinks are like the two, like, mask for mask of like people being kind of repulsed in my experience I've seen. But I do think it's easier for people to spot and accept twinks than it is with femmes, where it's like they, again, even when they're not together, can be kind of like you almost have to go above and beyond as a femme to be like, no, I am a femme lesbian or woman loving woman. Like, it's like, prove it. Like, it's almost like they have to prove it, and they don't. Whereas like twinks, it's just like, people just let them do what they do. So
Very interesting, both those groups, because it is just like they have a uphill battle in different ways and all that. And then I feel like people get mad at twinks or just flame like really gay boys like very easily. Like they get so annoyed with them so quickly and all that. There's like less of a patience there for some of them. I can kind of understand, but yeah, I feel like they kind of get mad at them or annoyed. So I don't know, just interesting dynamic out there in the streets and with your wire and all that. My bad queer opinion is about, I listened to Syd's album Beard, great album. I want y'all to just let Syd's album be Syd's album and music without trying to compare K1 at all. I don't want to hear those two in a sentence together unless like they're featuring on a song or whatever. Like I want the Syd fans and K1 fans, which are like some of the same people, to just like let those artists be separately and us just like not compare them at all. Like let's just have, there's now more than enough room for really all queer artists, but especially those two. Like I saw some conversations about kind of like a Syd versus K1 and Strap and B versus like sensual queer music and everything. And I just want people to enjoy their music separately without the comparison. We don't have to do that. We don't have to do a versus with it. Like, let's just enjoy them separately. Beard is such a great album. Just enjoy it, listen to it. Don't have to connect K1 with Syd in any way. And that's no shade, and you shouldn't, but you know, let them be. Okay.
I like that.
I
like that. Because
like, why are we talking about K1?
It is a really good album. It is a really good album, and they are two very different vibes.
Yeah.
Regardless, so both can exist
and should exist. Like,
and they like shout each other out and stuff too. So it's like they're not trying to be compared to anybody. Like,
yeah,
they're good. We are getting all of the sensual strap and B that we are looking for right now. So stop complaining and stop trying to compare them to the other. Just it's crazy. Embrace the fact that it's starting to get more saturated for us, which is exciting.
Trying to create a problem that does not exist. We should just be so happy to have options and, you know, choices. So shout out to both artists and all that. And not to say that both their fan bases definitely do that, but a good, you know, there's enough online where I was like, all right, can we just talk about Syd? We don't have to talk about K1 like at all. So
Syd was here first. Thanks so much.
And Syd's an icon. So
Syd's a legend.
Cemented. I don't even know why. And that's why I was like, you
don't have to.
I don't want to have to say this, but
and we're getting the internet album too, and we haven't.
Yeah, we're getting the internet back. So that I just don't want to like Syd solo,
None
Syd
of that.
with the internet, Syd as a writer. Like, please guys.
All the above.
Enough.
All the above.
Please. So just enjoy it. God, everything does not have.
Let us have nice things.
Versus, yeah, we don't have to do this. Ooh, not with our fan
That
bases,
would be a fire versus though. That would be a fun versus.
Maybe short for K1.
Yeah, we'll give it a couple more years. But,
you know,
here we are.
Yeah.
Here we are.
So,
all right.
Shout out to both though. Very talented, but more
really big shout
iconic.
Out to Syd.
So,
but really to Syd and
Syd.
Beard, and we're excited for the internet to come out with the album too. So thank you for that. All right. Well, let's go ahead and wrap up the show. But we would never leave you without giving shout outs to our faves. My shout out this week goes to Sula's Kitchen. It is a home for trans, non-binary, and Black storytellers, queer Black storytellers. Writers will have the chance to engage in prompts and break bread together in honor of literary lineages. It happens every second Sunday, and you can follow them at weekend.words. So the actual period, weekend.words on IG.
All right. My shout out is to the Women's Professional Baseball League, the WPBL, who had their first game on August 1st, marking the return of women's pro baseball to the U.S. It features 4 founding franchises, the New York Heights, the LA Queens, and the Boston Hunters, and the SF Firebells. All of those names are paying homage to prominent women. The 6-week-long regular season will stretch from, kicking off August 1st to September 6th. Playoffs start September 9th. You could follow WPBL_official on IG for more info.
So I will be going to a game in the next week. So I'm very excited. Next week or two. I don't know what days are anymore, but
leather jerseys. Baseball jerseys are always pretty elite uniforms.
They are.
You know, great jerseys to get. Yeah. And I'm sure obviously they'll expand past these 4 teams. So you'll see more. Yeah,
this is just the initial. And they're going to get it. And it's not always going to be played, because right now it's only played in Springfield, Illinois. So I take a nice little road trip to go, but it's not always going to be played there. It is just currently played there now because the field is specifically built for them. And starting off small, it's like these are coast to coast teams, so you don't you don't need to sit there and have them going across when it's the 4 teams. So they have them in one place, but they're looking to make sure that that is not the case when they expand to their proper cities as well. So
shout out to them.
All of it's exciting. All the people who are there and the history, and like these ladies, they're like 99, 96, all of that. And I'm so glad that they are here to get their flowers while they are still on this side of the earth.
Yeah. Wonderful for women's sports. Really good things for women's sports. So
yes, we love to see it. All right, everybody. Well, that is the show. We thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Take care.
I'm sorry that I'm